Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome back to Dueling Sabers, episode number 5 for the 28th of October, 2000 and mother freaking 20, baby. We almost there. You know what I mean? It's just simply 2 days. 2 damn days until we get more Mandalorian. That's right. Tomorrow night, midnight, I think, or 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is when we're going to be able to see The Mandalorian Season 2, the 52-minute long episode, and I am extremely, extremely excited to watch it. Of course, to review it and everything else. I might do a video tomorrow about my predictions for Season 2. I don't know. I'm not too sure what my predictions for it are. I just want to be surprised, if I'm being honest with you. And if I'm being fair, I think many of you guys want to be surprised as well. I think when you go into a Star Wars thing, you want to be surprised, right? You want to be taken to another galaxy that happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. You want to go be told something and not know everything going in. And that's one of the beautiful things about The Mandalorian. Leaks aren't really a thing, right? We've heard a lot in regards to casting, but we haven't heard anything specific. They haven't said anything. They haven't said anything about it. There's been no press release about it whatsoever. So that to me shows that we are in for some good stuff. So for today's episode, we're going to be talking about the more Pando. Apparently, Pando Calrissian is making a comeback, and a little bit of a way, but it is going to be considered canon 100%. So that might be a little bit anger inducing for a few people. Plus, we're going to be talking about the Josh Gad Olaf retelling of the prequel trilogy, and then a couple of the little pieces of news information, like perhaps that Tom Holland is being eyed to join Star Wars. That's what I'm being told. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. So why don't we just jump right into the news today? So let's talk about Pando Calrissian. Okay, now this article is coming in from We Got This Covered. So when I first saw the headline for this, my thought was, oh, no. What are you doing? We Got This Covered. You're lying, because they lie. They manufacture news. This is true. But they also pepper in real stories as a way to legitimize themselves, which is unfortunate. So it says here that this new Star Wars book reveals more about Lando's pansexual relationship with L337, which as a denizen of the internet, the fact that they called her L337, so leet, which is an old term from way back in the day, is just kind of like, it's geeky, but it's also kind of stupid. So now it goes on to say here that Phoebe Waller-Bridge's L337 was one of the more interesting characters in solo Star Wars story. Ever since A New Hope, fans have had questions about droid rights in Star Wars, with some noting that it's screwed up that the first time we meet Luke Skywalker, he and his uncle are effectively buying slaves. Yeah, but droids are also considered, like, autonomous, and they don't have souls, and, droid rights. I mean, come on. No one's ever sat there and been like, I don't want to say it, but there's never been a riot. There's never been a riot that happened in Naboo, right? There was no riot once the droid army was defeated, and you find out they were controlled, by the separatists in the Trade Federation. Like, no one came out and held a rally for those who were conscripted into battle that fought against their will. And if there's ever been a droid that's killed in a Star Wars movie, like on Mos Eisley, no droids were allowed in the cantina. I didn't see any kind of blog post. I'd be very careful with that joke. That being said here, L3 felt like a response to this as she tried to liberate droids forced into menial labor and advocated for rights of mechanical beings, as well as having a clear romantic chemistry with the pansexual Lando Calrissian. Now, she died. We know L337 died, and there was a lot of people that felt like that whole droid rights thing was really shoehorned, and when they killed her, it was like, yeah, I could see that coming. She's going to run out and go like, freedom! And then she's just going to get cat, and taken out. Like, that's what I felt when I'm like, she's going to totally die. And then they put her in the Millennium Falcon. And a lot of people got real mad at that too. And people were really mad about the whole Lando Calrissian sexual thing anyway. But it makes a lot of sense. The way Donald Glover kind of described it was like, look, it's, pansexual means you're attracted to a whole bunch of different things. And in the world of Star Wars, not everything is human. right? Like, not everything is human. There's a great gag about that in Guardians of the Galaxy where Drax is all like, you laid with an Ascovarian? Like, one time, man. So there's gags about that. So Peter Quill technically is considered pansexual, but he errs on the side of cis if we're going to look at it from those kind of gendered terminology here. Well, I don't really quite know. Anyway, so here's what we know about this new book. So there's a new book that's coming out. I talked about this the other day, called From a Certain Point of View, The Empire Strikes Back, which is going to be a collection of stories that retells familiar events from the perspective of background characters, right? And so there's going to be a lot of stuff in this one. Well, there's this one story called Faith in an Old Friend that is set during the scene in the Millennium Falcon where it hides out on the asteroid. Now, we learn that L3 is still conscious within the Falcon, along with two other parts known as VT5 or V5T, the original transport droid installed by the factory, in ED4, a corporate espionage slicer. Together, they dubbed themselves the Millennium Collective, with L3 encouraging them to maintain their own names and personalities. We also see L3 witness an intimate moment between Han and Leia. So this is going to be like fly on the wall, kind of like Ghost in the Machine sort of thing, where this is what the snippet of the story says. It says the collective shifted from to the cam, bringing up the visual. Han held the woman, Leia, in his arms. L337 suspected what this meant. She remembered how Lando's heart rate would change whenever they were in close proximity. Something like sadness shoved against her awareness. Is this organic courtship? ED4 said as they turned to the cockpit's audio. The collective listened, and L337 was grateful for the distraction. That feeling reached ED4, who sent a gentle nudge back. L337 no longer had the body she spent so long building or the human partner she'd bonded with so deeply. But she wasn't alone, and for that, she was thankful. So obviously the story itself here is not going to end up going into, it's not going to go into details about how it works, even though in the freaking movie, in Solo, L337, when asked about it by Kira, is all like, nah, it works. We don't know any of the specifics. We just know that it's a little line of adult humor, and that's one of the things that's in the movie. So this is one of those weird ones where I'm going to read from a certain point of view. I just find it to be like this little exchange is hinting back at that, and it's kind of sweet in and of itself. I wouldn't mind if Lando had actually like come out and like talks about it, like if there's like if they write something from like another character on Bespin, and you have Billy, like Lando's all like, let me tell you the story about how I lost my robot virginity. It was a cold night in the Falcon. We had run out of fuel while trying to escape the Imperial Army. Me and my co-pilot L337, we got to talking about life and love, and of course our own ambitions, which surprisingly overlapped. And then I pulled out a Colt 45, and we just, let's just say it works. Yeah, I mean, like something along those lines. But it's got to be read by Billy D. If Billy D read a story where Billy D had like sexual relations with L337, if he wrote that story, I would totally watch that. I would totally listen to it. I think it'd be fantastic. Hell, I might clip this section out just to run it on the channel to get more people to check out this particular podcast. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. A news. When does this come out? This one comes out. It's From a Certain Point of View, The Empire Strikes Back. 40 stories by 40 different authors. And I'm not too sure. I think it's coming out here pretty soon. I know it comes out in October. It's probably already out. I just didn't get it yet. So I would say go look for that, and then obviously tell me your thoughts on it, because I really want to hear it. So one of the things I want to do with this show, and I do this with my Marvel show as well, is I look at what people write in regards to op-eds, because we're always going to get op-eds, but we're never going to always get news. And so it's a good way to kind of fill the time. That being said, there's this article on the Dork Side of the Force that I just kind of had to stop and go, what? So a guy by the name of Patches Chance wrote an article titled, "Which Star Wars film is the scariest one of them all?" Because Halloween is in a couple days. So obviously it's like, yeah, let's find a way to tie Star Wars into horror. because that makes a lot of sense, right? That seems to work out for everybody involved. It's not, come on, this isn't like, this is a kids franchise, man. Now, granted, the last story was about a robot and a dude boning, but still, it's love. It's not murder. It's not death. It's love, baby. I'm gonna be chuckling about that all day. If you guys enjoy my very twisted sense of humor, let me know. However, so he writes this article here, and he pretty much just kind of like, he says what we all know: Revenge of the Sith is the scariest Star Wars film of them all. Yeah, no crap, dude. No duh. All right. If there ever was a time to just go, no duh, this is that time to say it, Patches. I'm sorry. All right. Out of 9 movies, 9 core movies, 2 spin-off films, a couple TV shows, and a bunch of animated stuff, Revenge of the Sith is the scariest one of them all. When Anakin cuts down them younglings, yeah, that was a big deal. That was frightening to children. That was frightening to adults. That is the thing. So it's like not even a competition. It's like this guy's like, I'm going to pitch an article to Dork Side of the Force about what is the scariest Star Wars movie. And it's Revenge. Everyone's going to be like, Revenge of the Sith, dude. Come on. Like, what is the most morally bankrupt part of the entire Star Wars saga? That's a good one. That'd be an article. What is the most morally bankrupt scene in all of Star Wars? Some people out there might go, oh, it's when Vader destroyed Alderaan. No. It's close, but no. The most morally bankrupt scene where we see a character act in the most dubious way is when Cassian Andor guns down the spy, the informant, at the beginning of Rogue One. That is the most dubious aspect, because that is where we go, oh, dang, the rebellion, they ain't all that good, man. Like, the space Nazis are not going to be good. Like, that. Like, going into it, they're not going to be good. But in this particular case, it is what it is, but it's stupid. All right, so why don't we quickly talk about, anyway, I want to know, what do you guys think is the scariest of the Star Wars films? Let me know your thoughts about that below. Anyway, what else we dropped today? Obi-Wan, A Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures, 1 minute, 5 second little clip here. And it's cool. Like, I mean, I've always kind of asked myself, what is the point of the Galaxy of Adventures? It makes no sense to me. These are just 1 minute kind of anime inspired things involving Star Wars, and they're aimed at kids, obviously, and that's fine. This one just dropped today. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. And you might be going, is it like an Obi-Wan Kenobi short? Is it going to be like maybe tying into the Kenobi series? Like, what's it going to be? Oh my God, what's it going to be? Nothing. It literally is just Obi-Wan like retelling. It's like him looking off, he's on Tatooine and he's looking off into, he's like thinking about when he fought some stuff, like when he was, doing some stuff over here. I think this is from Revenge of the Sith. Then you've got him like thinking about when he fought the droids, right? Him with Qui-Gon from Phantom Menace. And then it's like, again, fighting more droids, and then him running after, what's his name? Darth Maul after he killed. This is a cool shot though, Darth Maul right here. I will fully admit. And I mean, like, it's just kind of telling his story and him looking out over the twin suns of Tatooine while going back through his life experiences and everything else. And, with the Battle of Geonosis, fighting Anakin, and then Leia showing up. This must be right what happened to him after, right before they went to Mos Eisley, like the night before he was out there at Luke's place. Actually, I think, he's kind of at Luke's farm looking out over into the desert. So that's kind of what it is. And that's kind of cool. But it's for kids. It's only a minute long. It's a minute, nothing you haven't seen before. It's nothing new. It's just anime. And then I went and I watched a few more of those particular Galaxy of Adventure stories. And it's just, again, like, come on, give me something more substantive than a minute that you release every 2 months. I know it's aimed at kids. I'm going to be a bitch about it. There's also this particular story here. This video came in from IGN. That's asking the question, how much you'd have to pay for the full story to Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Now, the piece itself is an interesting piece that I at first kind of rolled my eyes at until I realized precisely what it was talking about. And it's talking about the Kylo Ren books. It's talking about the visual dictionary. It's talking about the expanded edition of the novel, and other comics and other things you'd have to do, and how much you'd have to spend outside of even a movie ticket to get the full story of the Rise of Skywalker, which has been a massive complaint if you are a Star Wars fan about like that movie and everything. So it's that whole thing. And they basically, I'm gonna spoil it here for you guys. They said it would cost about $156.85, not including sales tax, to get all of the ancillary material you would need to get all of the story of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, which basically then goes, oh, this is how this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. Stuff that should have been in the movie. Should have been in the movie. I'll say it. Should have been in the movie, wasn't in the movie, and that, of course, is what we see here. So, I'll link to it in the video description if you guys want to watch it. It's interesting enough, but at the same time, you probably, if you're watching this show and you're a Star Wars fan, you probably already know all about that. So it's not going to change anything. This is a sad story right here. Let's talk about this. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge greatly impacted by recent layoffs. And one of my viewers, his name is Brian. I can't think of his last name right now, but he does Skywalking Adventure on Twitter. And he covers theme parks, and he's like really, really, really upset about what's been happening to Disneyland and Walt Disney World as a result of COVID and the shutdown. And he sends me articles all the time, and I appreciate that. In this regard, Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World is being hit pretty heavily. It's still not open in, Disneyland. And so this is what we know. It says here that yesterday, another round of Walt Disney Company layoff notices were sent to Disney Parks cast members. This time, it was primarily entertainment cast members at both Walt Disney World Resort and Disneyland Resort who were impacted. But Disneyland's not even open. So it's like at this point, they've just been out of work since March. So, and it's not going to get any better. It's just not. Numerous social media users are now sharing that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was hit hard by last night's wave of layoffs. A Twitter user by the name of Tristan Tierney says here that a majority of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge entertainment costuming team was laid off, and I am crushed. I want to personally thank you for all of your help the last 2 years. Your hard work never went unnoticed. You are appreciated immensely. I could not have done my job without you. And then because when I was at Galaxy's Edge last year, I liked the costuming. I thought they did a really good job with that. I thought it really helped set the tone for the land. I had a lot of fun there. I mean, even though it felt like a mall, but I still enjoyed the aesthetics. Another person here says this is, we don't know who she is. Her name is Spooky Sierra. She says, okay, obviously seeing cast member layoffs made me sad, but seeing my Star Wars Galaxy's Edge family leave their goodbye messages on the Facebook page is so heartbreaking. Seeing them write with on-planet phrasing makes my heart hurt. I don't want to say goodbye to them. Now, there's a whole dialect. There's a whole dialect that Galaxy's Edge Entertainment or Galaxy's Edge cast members have to learn. And it's part of the immersion. When I was there, they weren't really doing it, I'll be fair. But I remember hearing about that. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really cool that they went as far into that immersion that they could. In this particular case, they're writing in character, or at least in dialect, Batu dialect, and they're saying their final messages. And that is actually really sad if you think about it. That's really sad. These guys love what they do. They're Star Wars nuts, like you, like me. I don't know if I'd love to work at Galaxy's Edge. All right, I think I would work at Galaxy's Edge. I don't know if I'd love to work at Galaxy's Edge. However, it is pretty sad. And then you got Frederick Chambers here saying half of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge attractions just got dusted. My heart breaks for all of my friends who are being forced to leave Batu till the Spire. And that's pretty sad here too. So then you got another woman here, Nearly Headless Nayla says, first it was characters and now it's my Star Wars Galaxy's Edge retail cast getting their notices. It is unreal to lose such amazing individuals that put their heart and soul into their roles. I'm so sorry. I want to save you and walk around the Spire learning about your aspirations and dreams. So it's not just cast members, it's retail. And since Disneyland needs the resale, and I was even talking about this on yesterday's episode, when you've got all the toys that are coming out, and I'm like, all this Galaxy's Edge merch. And I'm like, well, what the hell is this going to go to? What the hell's going on with this? And then you realize, oh, wait a minute. Okay. It's simply just, this is in downtown Disney's where they're going to be selling this stuff. The merch sales is huge. So that's pretty sad. That's actually really sad here. And so I really hope these guys land on their feet. I hope things get under control soon enough. Look, I'll be honest with you guys. We're seeing spikes in a lot of places. We're coming into the winter. It's going to get colder. This stuff is going to spread. Wear your mask, social distance. That's my PSA for the episode. But if this impacts you, then that's how you got to think of other people, man. If you may be anti-mask, that's fine. I don't like wearing them either, but you got to do what you got to do. Think about how it impacts other people. And that is where we find ourselves in this one right here. So let's talk about something a little bit funnier. I know I kind of go from sad to funny. So yesterday, Josh Gad on Twitter put out this call. He was like, if I get 10,000 retweets on this tweet, I will read or I will perform or retell the Star Wars trilogy, the Star Wars saga, all 9 films as Olaf. I'm not a big Frozen fan. In fact, I hate the movie. I like Olaf as a character, but I hate the Frozen franchise. Okay, the short films are kind of funny, but the movies are bad. I don't know why. Hate the movies like the short films. It is what it is. But I was like, all right, yeah, I want to see this. So he actually did this. He did the first one, and I clipped out the first minute because I want if you were apprehensive to listen to this, just listen to the first minute, because if you are political and you kind of fall in line with, well, Josh Gad's politics, you might find this to be more entertaining. I'm just saying he puts a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Disney gets on his ass a little bit for this one. To be fair, it's a bit spicy. I'm just saying it's a bit spicy. So take a listen to this.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, there was a master and a Padawan, and they met with 2 somewhat racially insensitive envoys to discuss what any people with incredible supernatural powers would be sent to discuss: trade negotiations. Let's just say it doesn't go well. But thank goodness for them, Master Qui-Gon and young hot Obi-Wan, soon to be midlife but still hot Obi-Wan in Disney Plus's limited series spinoff, have the ear of a seemingly good and not at all familiar man who's named Palpatine. Our heroes are sent off by a council of Jedi, including Uncanny Valley Yoda and Master Mace Windu, to find and protect Queen Amidala, also known as Padme, who has her own Melania Trump-style body double who will one day escape the backwoods of Coruscant and explore the wide oceans with Jack Sparrow. Our heroes unite with a walking Happy Meal named Jar Jar Binks, who teaches them that syntax is only a suggestion. Together, they make their way to a dusty planet where they find a special child named Anakin, who is the product of a working-class woman and her one-night stand with magic dust particles.
I really like the opening to that. Like, I think it's very funny. It's politically minded in some aspects, and it takes the piss out of it a little bit. And the whole thing is pretty funny. I recommend you listen to it. I'll link to it in the video description. I just wanted to share that snippet with you guys to see how Josh Gad is coming into the fold with this. And the thing is, there's people out there who just hate Josh Gad, and I get that. I understand that. I think he's pretty funny, but I understand why people don't like him. And I would also hope that would maybe go, oh, he's got a little bit of wit there. There's a little bit of humor there. Even if you may not like his politics, you might be able to get a laugh out of some of the jabs. The Jack Sparrow joke particularly made me chuckle, as well as the Shimi joke about having a one-night stand with dust particles, because still, Immaculate Conception is still funny to joke about with Star Wars all these years later. So check that out. Link will be for it in the video description. And finally, this is something that got sent to me yesterday by Mikey Sutton, and I'm going to be talking about Mikey Sutton scoops and 4chan leaks, like whatever comes up. I'm probably going to end up talking about. All right, I'm just saying. But here's what he told me: Tom Holland is being considered for Star Wars. Now, again, I have to say this. I have to preface it. Take with a grain of salt. 100% take with a grain of salt. But it makes a bit of sense, because right now Sony's got their hooks in him. Sony's got their hooks in him hardcore. They got Uncharted. He just wrapped that up, shooting Spider-Man 3 right now. I'm going to be talking all about that on my Marvel podcast, which is still unnamed. So if you have a suggestion for a name, definitely let me know on that one, because I can't think of shit. However, it says here that, let's find out more. So when hugely successful properties are owned by the same company, it's inevitable that actors well known for one would get rumored for the other. Such is the case of the MCU and Star Wars, 2 of Disney's biggest toys. Let's be fair. Marvel is Disney's biggest toy, and Star Wars is probably right underneath it. So it's not 2 of, I would say it is the top 2 outside of their animated stuff. But even that. Now, Chris Evans and Brie Larson have been the subjects of rumors leaping from Marvel to Lucasfilm Of course, there have been other actors who have done both, such as Samuel L. Jackson and most recently Oscar Isaac. Now, according to a source, and this is Mikey's source, Lucasfilm is considering Tom Holland for an upcoming Star Wars role. However, it's currently unknown if this is for Disney Plus or a theatrical movie. With Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige producing a future Star Wars film, you have to wonder if this is related somehow. The MCU Spider-Man films made Holland a household name, and Disney sees him as an even bigger star who could have several franchises to feed, which is true. I mean, the Uncharted for Sony, I think that was Sony going, hey, listen, we loved you and Spider-Man. We want to keep you around. Is there anything that you would like to do, a passion project? And he's like, I want to play Nathan Drake. And they're like, okay. And everyone's like, wait, what, huh? But you know what? I saw the picture. It looks pretty solid. I want to see what they do with it. I like Ruben Fleischer as a director. I love Tom Holland. I love Mark Wahlberg. You've got my interest on that one. Okay. 100%. I'm going to go see Uncharted. So let's talk about this for a second here. It makes sense that they would want to bring in Tom Holland to Star Wars. It would make sense that they would want to find a way to keep him in that family. And if Feige is going to take over producing Star Wars, which, let's be fair, the likelihood of Feige taking on an executive producer role for Star Wars going forward is pretty damn high. It won't be probably until the 2023 movie, but that's probably what's going to happen. It just makes the most amount of sense. That's at this point, that's what I got to say to that. So it just makes the most amount of sense. Holland is a household name. He's likable. There's no controversy there. It's a good thing. People are not going to attack the movie. They're not going to attack him. They're just not. So you've got that. Then what you've also got is a situation involving, just the future of the franchise in general and the Taika Waititi film. So again, because Taika Waititi coming over from Marvel to Lucasfilm, I think that's going to be in it as well. Holland is not the type who would go to television just yet. Now, he's young enough to where he may not mind it. But all things considered, where he's at right now is movies. Now, he's done a couple that have gone to he did that Netflix movie. I think he's got like Cherry is being picked up by Apple TV, I think, or something along those lines. The other Russo brothers movie with him is going to streaming. So he's not above working in that medium, but a television show is a different story. So I think at this point, unless it's a cameo or unless it's just something along those lines, most likely he'll end up doing the movie because Sony's going to want him to be Spider-Man for a very, very, very long time. So they're not going to want to mess with that. So it's all about scheduling. So I think it's just going to be a movie and it's going to be a minimal part. He's not going to lead the franchise. I think that's what's going to be there. Anyway, I'm down for this. I want to see more from it. And I think it's going to be pretty cool once we find out more as we get closer to the 2023 film. So there we go on that one, guys. That is actually today's episode of Dueling Sabers. A lot to get through, a little bit longer than I thought the episode would be. But I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I appreciate everybody giving it a watch. If this is a show you like, please let me know in the comment section. I want to do this a lot. I want to just geek out about Star Wars. I just really enjoy sitting down and prepping the episode and putting it out. And of course, your guys' response also makes it a lot better. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Please don't forget, like the video and comment and watch as much of it as you can, because I need to get my channel metrics up. Anyway, guys, I will talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day. Thank you again for watching, and peace the hell out.